Damo, it's probably a tough result to take after such a good start.
Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated with it, if I'm being honest. I think, whilst we did a lot of good stuff, I don't think we managed to stick to task probably as well as we should have and could have done. I think what we were doing in the first 20 minutes, how we set the game up and how we wanted to play was pretty much spot on. And I think unfortunately from then onwards we kind of let them back into the game through, honestly speaking, our own errors, a little bit of ill discipline and just an inability to hold the ball. And the problem with a team like Cindy is once you give them a sniff to come into the game, they'll take it. And to be honest, the kind of the threat they pose, the set piece and the kind of maul threat they pose, honestly we played into their hands a little bit with that.
Speaking of the positives though, I mean there were massive glimpses today of the rugby that Albion can play and have played and will play as the season goes on. Is it just about putting that into a full 80 minutes and, like you say, just not making those critical errors? Because there were times today where we looked a fantastic side.
I think that's the frustration. I think the fact is that I'm very aware of what this squad can and can't do, and it's the frustration stems from the fact that first 20 minutes was us in an absolute nutshell of what we're looking to get out of our game, and sticking to task and staying on game plan, and like any other team, if you come away from that, and you come away from what you're good at, it's never going to go well for you, and that's the frustration. Is there's so much good there. Looking at the positives, obviously this we're still to some degree work in progress. There's a lot of positive stuff going on in terms of our performances, and we're a light years away from where we were last season at this stage, but obviously with that development and progression comes a bit more high expectations, and that doesn't just mean physically, it means mentally as well. It means sticking to task, and it means having the kind of mental strength to stick in the fight and do what we're good at, really.
Oscar White got off the mark today. It's a good performance from him.
Yeah, he went well. I think a lot of the boys went decently. It's just, I think it was our decision making and kind of little bits and pieces let us down, really. But I think a lot of the boys will look back on the game and actually they'll have a lot of good moments in there. It's just more the overall product was what kind of let us down to some degree. Still a good performance. There's a lot of positives to take out of it. But obviously, if we're looking to kind of push ourselves on as a squad and as a club and as a team, then we need to make sure that those kind of things don't happen in the future.
Tom Davies started today. Carl Spear looked like he was having a big impact when he came off. So I guess that those are positives as well, is that you are having those good additions to the squad too. Yeah, I
mean it's pleasing. Obviously last year, it's no great secret we struggled for numbers and we struggled for depth, both in terms of numbers and quality. And obviously guys like that coming into the squad and then having an impact and playing big parts in the game suggests that we're probably going in the right direction when it comes to that. So really pleasing, and hopefully they'll back it up again next week.
It was maybe obviously a brief performance, but it was good to see Sheikh Sheriff back as well, and he's someone who's going to play a big part this season.
Yeah, Sheikh's one of those guys. I mean, he won't mind me saying this. He fell out of the team because of your work rate issues, and the problem with Sheikh is I hold him to quite a high standard because I'm fully aware of what he can do on the rugby pitch. And he did show today when he came on. He put in about several big hits in the space of 30 seconds, and that's the kind of Sheikh we want to see. It's just about making sure he's motivated and making sure that he uses his talents in the best way, because he's got a lot going for him. It's just making sure that he shows up on the pitch.
You touched on it a moment ago, but 10 points from the first 4 games, as you say, it's miles better than what we had last season. I think it took 6 games to score the first points last season. So coming away from today, the coach journey back isn't going to be a somber one, really, is it?
No, we're on that upward curve. Obviously, this is not the kind of project that's going to be completed in 1 season or 2 seasons. It's obviously the aim is to be a top end at one side, and that isn't going to come overnight, which we're fully aware of. But at the end of the day, it's always positive in terms of looking back, from last season. And it's with that though does obviously come, the expectations that we are a better side than last year. So we need to make sure that we kind of show our best self all the time, and that counts for 80 minutes as well.
Chris said he was going to get beers in tonight if we won. Are you going to hold into that after a loss anyway?
I'm hoping he's had a few now, so he probably won't remember what the score was. So either way, we should be fine.
Damian, thank you.
Thanks, mate.